Welcome to the deep dive. For so many people, thinking about menopause really changed back in 2002. That Women's Health Initiative study, it really flagged some risks with traditional HRT.
Absolutely. Breast cancer, stroke.
Hmm.
It definitely sparked this huge ongoing search for alternatives, non-hormonal ones, but ones backed by actual evidence.
Right, and that's what we're diving into today, isn't it? Looking at the science behind some of these natural products, complementary medicine, what actually works, and crucially, what's safe.
Exactly. We're sorting through the research on things like phytoestrogens, certain botanical extracts, and seeing what holds up.
Okay, great. Let's maybe kick off with phytoestrogens. They seem to be everywhere, usually isoflavones, right?
That's the main type, yeah. And generally, the initial data suggests they're pretty safe.
Yeah.
Side effects tend to be mild, mostly digestive stuff, bloating, maybe some diarrhea.
Okay, mild side effects. But what about effectiveness? I hear it's complicated.
It really is. And here's the fascinating part, the bit that often gets missed. It's not just about taking the supplement, it's actually about your gut microbiome.
Your gut, how does that work?
Well, for these isoflavones to really do anything, your gut bacteria have to convert one specific compound, daidzein, into something called S-equal.
S equal.
And S-equal is structurally quite similar to estrogen, so it can have some similar effects in the body.
Ah, I see. But didn't our sources mention something about who can actually make this S equal?
Yes, and this is a huge point. There's a massive difference based on ancestry. Over half, maybe 50% or more, of people of Asian descent naturally produce equal.
Okay.
But for Caucasians, it's less than 20%.
Wow, less than 1 in 5. So does that mean for like 80% plus of Caucasian women, taking these supplements might not do much at all?
It suggests the benefits could be significantly limited, yes. If you're a non-producer, you might not get the same results. However, there was an interesting trial, a randomized controlled one, where they gave non-producers the actual S-equal directly.
Ah, skipping the conversion step.
Exactly. And in that study, supplementing directly with equal did help alleviate mood-related symptoms.
Okay, so that's one potential workaround. But given this biological lottery, how solid is the evidence for isoflavones helping with bigger issues, like, say, osteoporosis?
Yeah, that's where the data gets really murky. Some big reviews, systematic ones, found basically little effect on overall bone density.
Huh.
But then other studies did find a reduction in bone loss specifically in the lumbar spine. So it's conflicting.
It sounds like it.
And a crucial point, because they do have some hormone-like activity if you have a history of breast cancer, using isoflavones needs really strict medical supervision. That's non-negotiable.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, let's pivot then. What about options that don't involve estrogen-like effects? Black cohosh comes up a lot, Actea racemosa.
Yes, and black cohosh is a great example because its mechanism is totally different. It doesn't rely on estrogen receptors at all.
So how does it work then?
It seems to act more on neurotransmitter systems in the brain, things like serotonin, dopamine receptors, systems involved in temperature control, mood, sleep.
Ah, targeting the central nervous system directly. And does that translate into real benefits? For hot flashes, for instance, VMS.
It seems to. Studies show it can lead to a pretty significant reduction in hot flashes, maybe up to 70% after about 3 months. And it also seems to help with symptoms of vaginal atrophy.
70% is quite substantial. And what about safety, especially for, say, cancer patients who can't use hormonal options?
That's another key area for black cohosh. Because it's non-estrogenic, it's considered a potentially safer option. Some lab data, in vitro stuff, even suggests it might work with anti-estrogen drugs like tamoxifen.
Work with them synergistically.
Potentially, yes, and some studies in people suggest it's safe for reducing hot flashes in breast cancer patients on tamoxifen without messing with their treatment.
That's incredibly important news for those patients, finding relief without compromising their cancer therapy. Okay, any other non-estrogenic standouts?
Well, there are also these purified cytoplasmic extracts, often from specific types of pollen and pistil like PI82 or GC-Fem.
Pollen extracts. Interesting. What do they do?
They've also shown benefits for reducing hot flashes, VMS, and generally improving quality of life. But a really critical safety point relates back to what we just discussed with tamoxifen.
Metabolism.
Exactly. Tamoxifen needs a specific enzyme, CYP2D6, to be properly metabolized and work effectively. Some other non-hormonal treatments for hot flashes, like certain SSRI antidepressants, can actually block this enzyme quite strongly.
Right, which could be a problem.
A big problem. But these pollen pistil extracts, One study showed they had minimal impact on CYP2D6, less than 11% inhibition. That's a really important safety feature.
Okay, so we have some promising specific compounds, black cohosh, these pollen extracts, maybe equal if you're a producer or supplement directly. But this brings us to a kind of uncomfortable topic, doesn't it? The actual supplement market.
Uh-huh. The messy reality.
Hmm.
Especially in the US, with the way supplements are regulated. Or perhaps underregulated.
It's that DFHEA system from '94, right?
Yeah.
Post-market surveillance.
Pretty much. It means companies can put products out there without proving safety or effectiveness up front. And the market just exploded. From around 4,000 supplements in 1994, estimates are over 90,000 now.
90,000, that's staggering. And the quality control.
That's the huge concern our sources highlight. Without strong oversight, you risk products being contaminated, maybe with heavy metals or pesticides, or adulterated, spiked with drugs, or simply not containing what they say they contain, or not nearly enough of the active ingredient.
So you might be taking something totally ineffective, or worse, actually dangerous.
Exactly. We're talking potential for serious adverse events, coma, seizures, liver damage have been reported, and dangerous interactions with prescription drugs you might be taking.
Like the red yeast rice example.
That's a classic one. Red yeast rice naturally contains compounds that are chemically identical to statin drugs used for cholesterol.
So if you're already taking a prescription statin,
And you add red yeast rice, you could effectively be double dosing, increasing your risk of side effects like muscle pain or even severe muscle damage, and you might not even realize why.
okay, so wrapping this up, what's the main takeaway here? We've got some potentially effective natural options, but also this minefield of quality issues.
I think the core message is that effectiveness can be very real, but it's often highly specific. It might depend on your individual biology, like with equal production, or it depends crucially on getting a high-quality, standardized extract, like the specific types of black cohosh or pollen extracts used in the studies.
Which underlines the need for caution.
Absolutely. The number one piece of advice has to be talk to your doctor or a knowledgeable healthcare professional before starting any supplement. Discuss the specific product, the dose, and especially any potential interactions with other medications you're taking.
Essential advice.
Definitely. But maybe let's leave you with this thought to chew on. We see that the proof of effectiveness for these botanicals often comes from studies using very specific, high-quality preparations. Yet you're shopping in a market with, frankly, pretty lax oversight. So how can you, the consumer, be truly confident that the product you pick off the shelf actually matches the quality and composition that generated those positive results in the first place? It's a tricky question.